Hello and welcome to Chattercave Podcast, where we walk you through to the best of our abilities, scene by scene of a movie of our choice. So we'll give you our opinion on that, and anything else that we jabber on about. I'm your host, Dranking Thomas Hughes.
I'm Hayden. Hey, you can also call me Nicola.
Today we're discussing Godzilla, King of the Monsters, released in 2019 and serving as the third, and at the moment until next year, final entry of the Monsterverse, which is obviously setting up Godzilla vs. Kong. The movie is directed by Michael Dougherty, who directed the Christmas horror Krampus and the Halloween anthology movie Trick or Treat. The movie sees the return of Ken Watanabe and Sally Hawkins, two of the three returning cast members, the other being the General from Godzilla. Joining them this time is Kyle Chandler, who appeared in the incredible Super 8 movie, and ironically the Peter Jackson King Kong movie. He was the actor.
Irony.
The irony, yes. Also here is Vera Farmiga, most famous for her role as Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring universe, as well as Norma Bates in Bates Motel.
And of course, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, that's the next bit. We also have Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, Bradley Whitford from the hit movie Get Out and horror mashup Cabin in the Woods, but he also is our second Brooklyn Nine-Nine actor here.
Yes, he
having
is.
portrayed Roger Peralta in 4 episodes. Similar to having 2 Brooklyn Nine stars, we have our third straight Compton star in the form of Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. And finally, we have our first Game of Thrones star in the form of Charles Dance.
We do, yeah, we have Tywin.
Yep. R.I.P. on the bog. Just like
killed on the shitter by Peter Dinklage. That is like
just like Kong, there are many more actors in this, but he's the most known of them. So fuck it, it's a do. The movie focuses on Monarch as it faces off against some of the most destructive monsters known to the Monsterverse: Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. So the movie opens just before the ending of the first, with the entire San Francisco up in flames. We are introduced to who we'll know later as Dr. Mark Russell, played by Carl Chandler, as he's shouting his son's name, since he's missing during his carnage. We then see Dr. Emma Russell, played by Vera Farmiga, and her daughter, who isn't the actress we'll see later on, so I'll leave her name off for now. As he continues to shout for his son, the ground begins to shake, causing them to look up and watch on as Godzilla smashes through a building and roars before the scene ends. So, once again, we open with a set years before the movie's main timeline scene. And no, not as badass as the Kong intro with, them fighting and Kong turning up. I do like that it's kind of a throwback to the last Godzilla movie in the same sort of showing a family in distress and like a heartbreaking moment.
It sets up like his perspective of
the monsters,
all the Titans, and that basically helps with the whole story growth he'll go through later on, as we'll speak about.
Yeah,
it's a very good way to start off, I think.
It's interesting as well for the fact that obviously you get Godzilla off the bat. You can't complain that you see him off the bat in that gorgeous CGI bastard.
He is gorgeous.
Look at the last one. It took, how long did it take? About 30-40 minutes before we even saw a hint of him apart from the spines. Here we just got bang, there you go, Godzilla.
They definitely make up for the lack of Godzilla from the first film in this film. I will admit that.
They fucking do a lot. Like, okay, so we have an issue with the first film, and what's that? Not enough Godzilla. So how do you want to, counteract that? Godzilla?
More.
You sexy bastard. I'm in.
Fucking genius.
So, I dig this sort of opening, but it's like a minute long, and then it cuts straight to Emma as she's sitting on her bed and looks at a photo of her family, symbolising that her son obviously died in the attack.
Oh, yeah.
Before it cuts to like numerous news channels appearing on TV. Obviously, we've been all complaining about the Titans and stating that Monarch should be held responsible for the destruction in San Francisco.
And it's setting up the world and how there's actual consequences from the first film.
Exactly.
It's proper like delved in this film.
You see adds a lot more lore and everything.
The government's reaction to it, the public's reaction to it, and it shows that they don't see them saving the place. They saw
Godzilla just destroying everything.
Yeah, like the classic films. Originally, they were just Godzilla destroys Japan. It was never
it was like the first couple of films I think it was that it was like Godzilla destroys Japan, but then later on they're like, actually, you know what? Let's have some fun with this. Let's make him the good guy here. Apart from Shin Godzilla, he was a bad guy in there.
Oh yeah, because he's got the whole point of it.
They brought him back in the Japanese reboot before. No, sorry, just after the American reboot, and they made him a villain in that again with a very weird looking Godzilla, which I'll have to show you at one point, Hayden. It is just it's a weird film. It's not my favourite Godzilla movie, but it's strange. It's like more of a natural disaster.
It's better than the 1998 one.
Yeah, it's better than the 1998 one. It showcases more a natural disaster with just like Godzilla involved than an actual, Godzilla movie, which is interesting. But we'll carry on from that anyway. So the scene then cuts to Madison Russell, the girl from the start, this time played by Millie Bobby Brown, and she's sending an email to her dad while also burning the house down, making breakfast, causing her mom to have to help out, put this disaster out. She could have used her telekinetic abilities just to pull it out herself.
Wrong thing, Tom.
Oh, sorry. There's another Stranger Things guy coming up, and that's why I got confused. Hold on.
Yeah, no.
I never noticed that until I watched it yesterday. I was like, wait, that was... Oh.
I've only recently watched Stranger Things.
I recently rewatched Stranger Things. That's why I probably recognised it this time.
Well, for me, it's all like, I know that guy.
Google.
For you, it's like, I didn't realise it the first time.
I just got like a fake moustache and put it against the TV screen. I was like, yeah, that's the guy.
That's it. That's the creepy teacher who hangs around loads of kids. That's him.
Yeah. Anyway, so where was I? Emma then speaks to Madison about what she was doing, revealing that she was sending an email to her dad, which obviously shows that they're separated now after what happened, which we'll learn later the sort of reasoning behind, but we'll get to that later on. Emma then reveals that she's finished something before obviously the house begins to shake and a monstrous screech is heard.
And you hear them, like, they say they're worried about something, and they're like, you think it's about, like, we all, from watching it first, you think it's about, like, Mothra, but second time watching it, you realise why they're worried, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and they look out the window to reveal that they're actually a research facility, like a housing area in this facility in the Chinese jungle. Another nice, simple character introduction with these two.
Yeah.
You get basic knowledge about this family and what happened after the attack. So it's nice that it's just like, they just give you the little knowledge that you need to know. So you don't need to know a lot, but you just need to know the basics, and that's the basics, which is nice.
Of course, we go into this facility.
Yeah, we go inside the temple, and the two are greeted by the other Stranger Things star. This franchise is literally Stranger Things meets Marvel, meets Straight Outta Compton, meets Brooklyn Nine-Nine, meets Godzilla and Kong. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, so they walk through this temple and talk about what's happening before walking past a carving in the wall of Mothra, which looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
They then reveal that...
I think Mothra's great.
Yeah.
In this film.
But then they reveal that the creature is awake and about to hatch, so we get some pretty blue lights filling this cave as baby Mothra is born, and again, some incredible CGI here.
Yeah.
Mothra goes crazy as the system obviously then begins to crash, due to outside interference. But she still looks fucking beautiful.
It does.
And he's in the baby form. Wait till we talk about the big bastard later on.
This is the Caterpie version. And it's amazing looking. Even that. So it...
Just the effort they put into getting the detail right.
And a lot of scenes with Mothra are just amazing. But also, even in the scene, when she's attacking the humans, she doesn't kill them.
She's Spider-Man in them.
She's Spider-Man them. She just puts them away. So it shows that this one's even more benevolent and more, like, harmless.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm pretty certain she definitely heard that one guy. She bit him and then threw him.
Yeah,
that guy definitely could have died.
The majority of the one that she's attacked, she didn't really kill.
Yeah, she obviously webbed a few of them with her Spider-Man skills. I think she's watching too much Far From Home, and she's like, I gotta do this.
But it sets up more of, like, her character.
Yeah. So, anyway, after obviously this all attack and everything, Emma then runs in to try and stop them from killing her. And she opens up her secret box and not that kind of secret box, you dirty bastards. Which is obviously a piece of tech to help communicate with the Titans. But first attempt doesn't go quite well, and she gets a bit aggressive. Starts shooting webs at her. And, Madison then runs in to help, and obviously she finally gets the right frequency and calms her down. Yeah, the alpha frequency, allowing obviously Madison to place her hand against her head.
And then
Game of Thrones comes in.
Tywin comes in.
You kill me on the toilet, I'm gonna kill all of you. So he bursts in with shoulders. Soldiers. Pretty burst in with his shoulder, but they kill everyone in the security room, including the other Stranger Things star. And obviously, we're introduced to Alan Jonah, played by Charles Dance. So I'm just gonna keep calling Alan the entire podcast.
Or called Tywin because they're easy for people to
Alan. Every time I say Alan, I just keep thinking of Jurassic Park 3. Alan.
I was thinking of Alan Partridge.
I was just thinking of the raptor scene. He's on the plane. And he keeps saying Alan to him. That's a fucking weird scene. So anyway, obviously he shoots him dead. And then he obviously stares at them two in the room before looking up at Mothra with like the shock before it ends. So obviously this is actually the actual proper start, not the little tiny few second intro we got earlier on. So obviously, unlike the two previous entries, the actual prequel side was never dragged out. It was just a minute long, done and done. Whereas like the other ones, it was like a couple of minutes long. Whereas Godzilla was like 10 minutes long, something like that. But this is the first one where the actual proper start of the movie is being the present day, which is a very interesting way to start the movie. And it's obviously a lot different, which I do like. Plus, for us to get a good amount of time to focus on Mothra makes you love this movie already.
And obviously it helps with later on in the film, as we'll get to. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more action straight away, which obviously was another big thing of the previous film. There wasn't as much action.
Yeah, and it was all cut away a lot of times. It was like done from like TV screen like footage and shit like that. Whereas this, it's like, nah. Yeah, it was good for that film, of how that film was. But, for people who wanted to see a Godzilla movie, it wasn't what they wanted. Whereas this, I'm pretty certain this is what they would have wanted. Even if the critics hated it, fans were mixed on it. And it didn't make good at box office at all. Which is a shame, because it's a good movie. But yeah, as you say, critics do hate everything.
Yeah, they hate life.
Fans actually get given what they want and then just shit on it anyway. I wonder what they're going to be like with the Snyder Cut next year. They're just going to shit on that as soon as it comes out.
Definitely.
I won't. I'll probably enjoy it. The trailer looked good. But anyway, so I just dated this podcast, which I didn't want to do.
I'm pretty sure the date, look underneath it, would have fucking dated anyways.
No, I mean the date of us recording is. Because clearly I'm talking about the Snyder Cut trailer, which just got released. Oh, I should have did it again.
You never say it got released then, did you dickhead?
Oh, no. Anyway, we'll slide it the way quickly. The movie then suddenly shows the fight scene from the original movie before revealing it's a Senate hearing, and they're showing the footage to the Senate and not the Palpatine kind of Senate.
Yep.
So here we're introduced to Sam Coleman, played by Thomas Middleditch, who you may recognise from the Final Girls movie I showed you a few months ago, Hayden.
Yes, I do.
He's the guy that went, that's blood.
He's the most awkward guy ever.
Yep. He's telling the Senate about the monsters when he name drops the Mutos, our main star Godzilla, and Kong.
Mm-hmm.
He then tries to tell them that they're not all the Titans want to harm the world, and that Monarch can tell them which ones are good and which ones are bad. So as you say, i.e. Godzilla good, King Ghidorah bad. Yeah. But they don't want to hear any of this shit.
Because they're America.
Yeah.
America, shoot everything we don't know.
And then they start complaining that they haven't told them a reason why Monarch shouldn't be under military jurisdiction, which obviously causes Dr. Serizawa to perk up. Once again, obviously he's played by the brilliant Ken Watanabe. Beautiful. And he tries to blame humanity for the Titans returning and that we shouldn't exterminate them because obviously, why would you exterminate something that we caused?
And the whole thing where you go when what are we gonna be Godzilla's?
Oh yeah.
Pet, and he goes, no, we will be his. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, so obviously before he says that, we obviously reintroduced to Vivian, again obviously played by Sally Hawkins,
Yeah,
and she's talking about that's when she's talking about the symbiotic relationship we should have with them, which is obviously
yeah.
then when they make the joke of, oh, is obviously he gonna be our pet, and obviously as you say, Dr. Cerezo was like, no, we'll be his, which obviously makes everyone laugh. Before Vivian gets a text message and they're forced to obviously leave, which the Senate get really angry, and
We're
Sam's like, here's a video for you of Titan reproduction. I'm pretty certain the genitals are all blurred out, but
yeah.
drop me a message in my secretary.
So
So
that basically means we've seen the uncensored version.
we've basically seen the porno version of it. Because they literally just play the footage from the first scene when they're kissing, the mutos, and just blur the fucking entire scene. So they're kind of looking at it saying, oh, yeah, the entire scene is just
That's
essentially
how
porn.
that is how they like reproduce, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And
It's just funny.
yeah,
So,
joke.
yeah,
Isn't it?
this type of scene is obviously a nice way to reintroduce the audience to the two original stars,
Yeah.
while also introducing us to, as you say, the very awkward new star here as well. So it's a nice little way to bring them all back into the fold and sort of reintroduce Monarch into the modern day rather than obviously the other one. It was the past since Kong is before. Or this is a confusing fucking timeline. They should release Kong first. um. So anyway, we then catch up with Mark in the his present day, as he's obviously taking pictures of wolves eating like a carcass.
Fucking cutest scene ever.
Before obviously he's alerted to company in the form of a helo that is landing right next to him. Obviously he scares the wolves off and he's like, oh, what the hell? And he then looks over to see obviously Cerezo, Vivian and Sam obviously exit a helo and he's like, huh? And obviously it cuts to them showing him on like footage of the attack in China and obviously images. And they obviously show him the reason behind the attack, which is the device that Emma had, which is called the Orca. And obviously this angers Mark for the fact that they destroyed the Orca years ago. But as Vivian tells him, after San Francisco, Emma went back to her home in Boston and rebuilt it to help prevent another attack. And obviously Mark points out the problem with this device is if you in the wrong frequency, then you cause 10 times San Francisco. And you fuck up everything. And obviously they try and take him then to find the Orca. And he's obviously like, no, I don't want to. Until Vivian's like, oh, you help us get the Orca, we help you get your family back. And he's like, okay, let's go. So it's interesting, obviously, to find out this divide already between the separated couple. That he obviously didn't know she was working on something they built together. It's interesting, obviously, little plot here.
Yeah. Very good way of doing it, I'm assuming. Like, they introduced like the whole idea of them both being the brains of the Orca, so they both know how it works, both know how to deal with it. But it helps as well to show how they both reacted to the death of their son. He was more reclusive and just went together with animals and record pictures of in wolves. Where she went into whole
Build it again.
build that again, and let's save the people from these guys by working with them. Which, of course, we will later on find out more about that.
Yeah, so so on the helo, Mark.
There's a little on the tablet when he goes through all of the ones that they've discovered. Did you notice in Scotland it actually says the Loch Ness monster?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he's on there. It's on the it's called like Titanus Leviathan or something like that.
Was this on when they're in the helo? When they're showing the frequencies?
Yeah, where he's going through like all the ones that the idea ones that discovered. He's like, how many fucking
Literally in my mind when looking at that, I just as soon as he said Kong, my mind was just like, oh, Kong.
Take a little tablet.
Yeah, I'll have to look back at that scene actually. I didn't notice that, but anyway, so on the helo, it's been revealed that it's been 3 years since he last spoke to Emma, and that the reason for the split was him going down the dark path of alcoholism after obviously Andrew's death, which is obviously a serious sort of condition.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Sam hands Mark the tablet to show him the research they have, which, as you say, is shows the frequencies as you put the Loch Ness Monster one, which I need to fucking see now, and obviously our big boy Kong. And on top of that, as you say, he then points out how many of these things are there, which Sarah responds with 17 and counting. And then obviously Vivian starts saying all the locations they found them, including like Wyoming, which I think she's trying to say as a joke. It's sort of just like she's showing all these like, big like cities and all that, but then she just goes Wyoming, so I'm pretty certain she's just trying to say that as a joke. Plus, the tone of voice kind of makes me think it was a joke, even though she didn't sort of laugh. She could have been like a little giggle at the end, but you know. So
maybe she's right. Maybe there was one from Wyoming. You never know.
Obviously, she name drops Skull Island as well as another one, which is obviously their third reference now, since they referenced Kong at the hearing. They referenced Kong in the fucking frequency, and then they referenced Skull Island. So I wonder what they're building up for here.
Almost like they're going to make him fight. Almost like that.
Yeah. So anyway, Mark asks why they haven't killed them yet, but obviously Sarah points out that they're not all evil, and that's why they're fighting with the government not to exterminate them. So I do like the fact we get a number for the amount of monsters that are out there, which kind of makes me want to see every last one of them. I do want to see the Loch Ness Monster one there just turn up. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Just like waving through.
So anyway, the Hilo arrives at like an oil rig, which turns out it's like a massive like underwater facility underneath it. Where obviously Mark finds out Godzilla isn't missing, as everyone believes he is after the attack. And inside the facility, we're briefed by Vivian on the situation, where we are introduced to Dr. Rick Staton, played by obviously Bradley Whitford. Dr. Chen, played by, here I go again, Zia Zhang. That's close enough. Colonel Diane Foster, played by Aisha Hinds. Chief Martinez, played by Anthony Ramos, as they discuss the black market side of the Titans, like what you can sell like the stuff for. And the Colonel obviously then tells them of the plan, which is shot down as a duck hunt by Mark, before he points out they should just exterminate all these right now before obviously he leaves. So as you say, it's nice that we get to see obviously this dark side of Mark. He's like, I don't give a shit about you trying to like protect some of these Titans. I just want them all dead after what happened. This is my mind. Whereas obviously, as you say, Emma's like, okay, we need to keep some of these Titans safe. Whereas Mark's at the opposite end of this, like kill. Similar to with Kong, with like, Sam Jackson's character was like, I want him dead. Whereas like John C. Reilly and all the others are like, no, we need Kong alive now. Yeah. So it's kind of like the same sort of style of characters, but not as cool as the characters there.
Oh, yeah. But it still works.
It does still massively work to drive this plot home. So,
and I think them both being like, well, was married or something. I mean, having kids and all that, it creates a massive big rift as well between them. As we'll see later.
Yeah, I also missed the name off my list. I missed Chief Warrant Officer Barnes, played by O'Shea Jackson Jr. I missed his name off. I was speeding through that then, and I fucking missed it. But I'm a dumb shit. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So anyway, we now rejoin Emma, Madison, and Alan as they fly to one of Monarch's research bases. This time in Antarctica, when on the ground the soldiers take out all the Monarch people, soldiers, whatever you want to fucking call them. You obviously only hear this when the fact they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?"
What are you? Oh shit!
And then obviously he comes in. He's like, "Well, let's get started. Come on." And obviously he drags them all out inside, and they get inside the elevator where he does that weird thing with his face when he's like rubbing his eyes, and obviously Madison's watching him, and he starts trying to do like a joke where he's like changing his face every time he moves his hand, and she just like flips a bird at him by rubbing her eyes.
Fucking glad that
which is funny because it's something I always do at work to like people. Go, oh.
I think the idea obviously is like he's treating her like a kid, so he's like, I'm not a fucking
kid. And obviously she's like saying, yeah, I'm not a kid, mate. Here's my middle finger.
Yeah. I can check your mind powers.
Wrong universe. You've done what I did. So anyway, when the elevator opens, we see a large monster encased in ice, which Madison points out is Monster Zero, also known as Ghidorah. So
I wonder who it is. Who's this three-headed dragon? Is it the three-headed dragon called Ghidorah? Maybe. We'll find out.
So stay tuned. And we're back. these soldiers obviously begin to fire up the drills on the word of Jonah, while Emma works on getting Ghidorah's frequency just right. So she's like
Mhm.
trying to get the data from obviously the drills to get this frequency.
Mhm.
And even though we haven't like officially seen Ghidorah apart from obviously the outline of him, I
Mm.
I do love the seeing him encased in ice.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, and then it obviously cuts back to Mark, who's watching a home movie, which kind of looks like The Shining with the bear when he's noshing off the janitor guy, but not as R-rated as that.
Yeah.
But it's actually obviously a family film. He's like dressed as a bear, his kids dressed as bears, his wife spots him, she gets run away, has to run away because the son starts chasing him. So yeah, it's not The Shining, kids. But I kind of got the Shining vibe when I first saw it. Not because I saw like a video before which made that same joke. I definitely didn't
You
steal the
sure?
joke.
Are you sure?
So anyway, he's interrupted when the base starts shaking. A code red alarms him, which obviously causes him to run into the viewing room where they tell him that Godzilla is close and he's taking out all their obviously equipment that's monitoring him,
Yeah.
which obviously causes the soldiers to get on the big guns just in case. While the
Okay.
scientists listen to obviously Godzilla's acoustics,
Oh.
saying obviously he's rapid, he's not never normally this close, and obviously Mark's
Mm.
like, stand down. As he's like, I know I want him as dead as he can be, but if you
Yeah.
can't win this fight, don't start the fight. And they're like,
Yep.
so was like, stand down, and obviously eventually they agree. Okay, guns down, and then he's like,
And
okay, open the blast shields.
oh my god, it's so beautiful, this fucking scene.
Wait,
Really.
you missed the Rick joke. When he's like, okay, and do you want to do it, inviting him for a beer? Are you out your goddamn mind?
Okay, now we'll get to the beautiful scene
Yeah,
then.
so
Okay.
the doors open after Sarah like persuades them to open it, and you get, as you say, the beautiful scene of Godzilla swimming slowly towards the glass with the constant flashing of
Are these supposed to
blue
check out
light.
eyes as well?
Yeah,
Eyes so blue. Oh,
that's
it's
one
so
thing they
good.
didn't do in the last one. They didn't really showcase his eyes glowing, whereas this it's
Yeah.
like he's got glowy eyes as well, and obviously he keeps swimming and swimming with the like a constant sort of pattern of dun 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 as his uh, spines are lighting up. That's the word I was after.
Yeah.
Which turns out is like an intimidation tactic. Before
But
obviously
not.
yeah, not for them, and obviously the lights go out. But up to this point, I won't say the next bit yet. But up to this point,
Yeah.
that scene was just oh
So good.
it builds you up. It's like a nice calm thing. It's like we get to see him sort of here, and then as the lights go out, they're like, oh, that was easy enough, and he just comes flying past, roaring and swimming past them, which caught me by surprise when I saw it in cinema. I did
But
kind of shit myself.
the last big fuck you.
Yeah, I massively did shit myself when seeing this because I didn't obviously expect him to do that. You don't
Was it
expect it.
the way like when he goes, oh god, whew, like there's like a kind of a cliche where it's like, oh, it's all over now. Shit, it's not over. So I get used to it, but it was still done pretty well.
Yeah, it did catch you by surprise. If you're not sort of concentrating on that too much, if you're sitting back enjoying the movie, not fully concentrating, it would catch you by surprise like it did me. That and the
You're
fact I went into this viewing after having like a couple of hours skip, so I was fucked. But still enjoyed the movie massively. But yeah, so apart from obviously, well, including that, sorry, apart from me jumping out my seat, this is just like an incredible scene. It's
definitely.
outstanding. It showcases this newer look at the cinematic side of it, whereas the last one obviously showcased like just like bits of his body here and there in the sort of cinematic sense. This is like doing it to a new scale by actually showing the fucking full scale of it, but in different sort of ways.
There's a lot of wide shots with it. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of zoom in shots as well, which look
Yeah.
really good. Like the scene later on, which I won't say too much about, but when he rises from the ocean and it sort of pans outwards to his face and it zooms in when he gets really angry. That sort of scene. Oh, that's why I love this. So, following on from this, obviously Mark gets him to show him Godzilla's movement pattern and where he's heading, which is revealed to be Antarctica, which obviously worries everyone, but Mark, who's like, wait, what's in Antarctica? Before we obviously cut to them on the, obviously, helo on the way to Antarctica, with Mark being briefed about Monster Zero being there, and it was a rival to Godzilla before Rick tells them they lost Godzilla's, obviously, vitals and that. So he then points out this is due to the Hollow Earth theory, which obviously is from Dr. Brooks in Kong. which is a nice another throwback, which we'll get another big throwback later on, but won't get to that yet. And obviously, he's like, this guy's a genius. And he's like, Godzilla must be using these underground tunnels to get around really quickly, which is a proper way. If you can think, okay, if this big bastard's going to get anywhere, there's definitely got to be some like secret underground tunnels. It's like Scooby-Doo, the Loch Ness Monster film all over again. And he obviously carries on before the colonel's like, okay, we need to get ready, we're on an approach now. And it cuts back to Alan, who's telling his men to deal with, obviously, this threat incoming. And obviously then quickly cuts back again to the good guys, so they're obviously landing. You see the soldiers from the point of view of a camera, like their head cameras and whatnot, as they head into this obviously facility. And they're then ambushed by the bad guys who just straight up just take most of them out, put them through these sides, yada yada, bang bang bang. Yeah. And then Mark's like, okay, I've got to get in there because he sees obviously his family on the one footage as it freezes. So he charges out the helo, picks up a gun, and it starts heading into the base, which obviously worries everyone else until the monitors start lighting up because something is happening. But you obviously don't know what's happening yet because it hasn't said officially, but it's more than likely the fact Ghidorah's slightly waking up.
Most likely, yeah.
And obviously, Mark ambushes the bad guys when he's down there and kills.
Yeah.
Like he's sort of like the lead soldier in Alan's ranks because he's the only one with a name. When he gets killed, I was like, oh no, I don't remember the guy's name. To be fair,
they're important.
Exactly, and obviously he dies instantly thanks to the headshot or body shot, whichever it was. And the colonel's obviously above watching through a scope.
Yeah.
While Mark tries to obviously get Madison to walk towards him, but she walks back to Emma, who then grabs the detonator and blows up the ice, causing the facility to crash down on them. Yeah. And the colonel obviously goes flying off the railings, holding her on for dear life, while the bad guys and Mark leave in two separate elevators. Mark then turns around when he obviously sees these soldiers save the colonel. He's like, oh fuck, I'll go to the right thing here. Lowers the elevator back down, gets them all in. Bad guys escape on their helo and take flight. And Emma then obviously wakes up Monster Zero just as Mark and the soldiers make it out of the facility. So obviously some of them dying because obviously the ground below is just collapsing. And then, we're getting to the big bits here. But first, I want to note again, the music in the background here is just incredible.
Oh,
3 films in a row we've had brilliant music. It sort of sets the tone for the viewing. It sort of just relaxes you at the same time as it intensifies you. You're like, oh. I do love the tribal chanting we get later on, but this sort of early music we get now is just like, beautiful. And then obviously Emma finally awakens Monster Zero, which causes Mark and the good guys to watch on as Lightning begins to emit from this hole, which again visually is stunning. As a tail then rises, followed by a second head, and what's the next thing that rises, Hayden?
Is it another head?
I feel like it's another motherfucking head. It's a third head.
Then the second tail.
Yeah, and then here he is, Ghidorah. Again,
Ghidorah.
Incredible looking here.
Oh, definitely.
Not just CGI, but the design of him, because they used the old sort of Japanese design, but obviously they've modernised it a bit more. But it still looks beautiful.
And they give it personality as well.
Yeah, he's really dumb head.
Head. Like you can see, like the middle head, you see a massive, like a lot of leadership to it. It seems to be the one that's in charge. It's the one that's like it snaps at the left head or right head.
Left head. The left head's like he's sort of looking at almost looking. They're obviously shooting. He's just taking all the bullets to the face, like, oh, look at these. And obviously the middle head's like, oh, whoa, fuck off, kill him.
Yeah, left head is obviously the one that's always getting killed. It's like, fuck, not you again.
And obviously, he starts to, blast them. After he obviously roars first, which, whoa. He then climbs from his hole that he's in and takes them all out by shooting, obviously, his lightning bolts at them.
Yeah.
Is
it gravity bolt?
I don't know. I just keep calling them lightning bolts. It's easy enough to say lightning because they look like lightning bolts.
I heard it being called gravity beams by some, like on the video.
Probably, but he then obviously rises up with his wings, and he just emits lightning into the
But
sky, which it just looks amazing. Again, another fantastic CGI monster.
yeah,
They worked their asses off to get this CGI right, and round of applause them. And we haven't even seen the last of the CGI monsters. We've got one more to go, plus technically a redo of another one, so 2 technically, plus all the extra ones we get later on, which we'll get to then. But that just looks fantastic, and obviously this massive sort of electro sort of magnetic pulse that's went off. It's obviously grained to the good guys. They can't obviously get up in the helo, and so Madison sees this and it's like, okay, just grabs the Orca, starts dicking around a bit, which obviously distracts Ghidorah enough onto them to buy the helo some time, but obviously it doesn't do much because they get the Orca back, turn it back, so it ignores them and starts going after the helo, and
dun, dun, dun,
he starts to back up.
dun,
The sonar begins to beep. Blue light begins to emit from the ice, which looks
I
beautiful.
wonder who the fuck this is.
And Godzilla just bursts out the ice once again.
Then you
This
realise,
incredible theme in the background.
do you know the big wide shot it does? You see Ghidorah and Godzilla. I don't know what the fuck I said. Kong.
Probably because I said Kong about like 5 times already.
It's the wide shot of them both. You see that Ghidorah is a bigger one.
Yeah, he's like twice the size of Godzilla.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, like for once, Godzilla's the little guy.
Pretty much. And obviously, he emits a loud roar which causes Ghidorah to do the exact same before they obviously just charge at each other and just begin this massive beatdown, which causes the helo to slide around. Which, when it starts to, like, okay, we need to get out of here. So they all start to flee in the middle of this battle while Mark is trapped into wires and they've all left him here. Vivian's the only one who stayed behind and saved him. What arseholes? But we're getting to the bit now. So the 2 of them run straight from the helo, and it falls straight into this massive sort of crevice hole, and Godzilla falls down thanks to a lightning blast from Ghidorah. But with his atomic breath, he just poof. But straight up misses because Ghidorah's head just swerves out the way.
Obviously, like on the first film, when we see the atomic breath, it always like it hits, it does stuff. It's like this time, it's like there's no real like build up for it. Like we know what it's like, but we expect it to always like be the end like game. Boom,
Yeah,
hit, you're gone.
I do love the fact they still build it up with the tail, with the tail slightly bleeding up all the way. It just looks beautiful again. And obviously, as you say, he then just straight up dodges. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
They use this as well to compare to like in the end, like when we see him later on, and you can see a difference to how certain events have made Godzilla more powerful later on.
Yeah, and obviously
the difference between the build-ups as well.
Yeah, and Ghidorah, obviously, after his dodge, managed to land a blast of his own, which sends Godzilla crashing down into the ice below. And then while running, Vivian is then eaten by Ghidorah.
Yep.
Which is watched on by Mark and Cerizero, who drops down to his knees out of sadness, knowing his friend is dead, which shocked me. To be honest with you, when I saw this, I didn't even notice at first. I was like, wait, did someone just die? I was like, what was going on then? I was too interested in this big battle. What the fuck just happened to this human? My mum's there nudging me next to me going, the one from the last one died. I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't even notice she died until later on when you see him looking at a picture of her on the screen.
Wow. So I mean, you had the same sort of mind of we're just too busy concentrating on this big fight that we didn't even notice that she died.
I was writing notes.
And then we finally realised, we're like, oh shit, I did not see that coming.
In my notes, like, apparently the assistant died at some point.
I had to get told by my mum. She sat next to me and I was like, what the fuck just happened? She's like, oh, she just died. I was like, oh shit. I did not see that. So anyway, as he's obviously sort of in this somber moment, the good guys finally arrive in the military and start shooting at Ghidorah with rockets, with one of them being knocked by Ghidorah's wing, was it? Was it his tail?
One of those.
Yeah, and obviously explodes near Mark, sending him flying. On another floor, he watches as Godzilla rises again to fight Ghidorah, but, the big coward flies away.
It's like, fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. So, for the first, battle of this movie, it was incredible to watch. Don't get me wrong, I loved the last one first fight between Godzilla and the Muto due to its build up, but the actual battle was only seen through TV footage, which isn't as good as actually seeing them just batter the shit out of each other. So I have to give props to this movie. It kind of did a Jaws 2 in the sense of less build up and more shark, but replaced the shark with Titans fighting. But unlike Jaws 2, I'm not going to criticise this movie for the lack of build up because it does it right here.
It works here. It
Yeah.
doesn't work too. And there's only one annoying kid, not loads of them.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on this fight as an overall?
I must admit, I liked the start. I did like it. Like, for a start off, it sets up Ghidorah for being
Badass.
actual threat. And it shows, like, Godzilla is still strong, but this time he might be outmatched.
Which is wise.
We'll find
A
out.
certain helping might come in later on, but we'll get to that later. So we rejoin Mark in, well, I would say hospital bed, but it's more like the medical area of the facility. And the team argue about what happened down there and point out they lost Ghidorah in a tropical storm over Brazil, which is going to come in handy later on. Whilst so as you say, mourns Vivian on the image on the computer. Mark then obviously enters and backs up the Colonel, who was saying that Emma released Monster Zero. And he's like, yep, she did it, I saw it. And then obviously we cut to Godzilla swimming and a drone following him and monitoring obviously his vitals. And they point out that he's heading to Mexico, where there's a research station presence. They then take a call from the station in Mexico, which is from Emma, who tries to explain her reason for releasing the two Titans so far. So basically giving us her motivation for actions, which obviously angers Mark. Is like, you're out of your goddamn mind. And obviously Cerezo is also annoyed. Well, pretty much everyone in this fucking room is annoyed. Yeah. And obviously during this...
She's not actually a hostage, she's a bad guy.
Yeah, basically. And obviously during this speech we see footage of different Titans, mainly Godzilla, the Mutos and Kong. Not just footage of them, we obviously get cave paintings of them. I was showing them in the olden times of how they were worshipped like gods. And, they're clearly hinting at Godzilla v Kong again. With all these references. So then obviously Rick then shows them that Emma isn't actually in Mexico. She's bouncing her signal around like multiple satellites.
Yeah.
So she's not there. Yeah, she's not there at all. So they then obviously point out this facility's defences have been shut down. Before we cut to Madison, who tries to stop her mom from releasing another Titan. But after Alan argues with Emma, she realises another Titan needs to be released. So she's like, beep, released. And obviously this time it's Rodan, the fire demon. But as far as motivation goes, it's, your average amount of quality of, reset the Earth, Titans can take over, but, we won't be extinct, we'll come back. This is just a reset button. It's not, Thanos' motivation of, I just want to kill off the world, for kicks.
But at least Thanos only was going to get rid of half of them. She was wants to get rid of the majority of people.
Exactly.
Except those who could afford to get for a bunker. Right. This is Kingsman. This is fucking Kingsman. With monsters.
You're definitely not hinting at something else here. You're doing this film, aren't you? You're hinting at what's going to come next.
No.
So anyway, in Mexico, the military are trying to evacuate the population, getting as many as they can on helos, but then a roar is heard, causing everyone to look at the volcano, which is followed by the speakers starting to send out the AUKUS signal, and then the volcano just erupts and explodes, and Rodan, another incredible CGI monster, appears like lava just dripping from him, which looks beautiful.
I like Rodan's fire, sort of lava dripping off him.
That was really cool.
It's beautiful. However, I hate the face.
What do you mean you hate the face?
So cringy. I don't know why. Just the face of Rodan is so cringy. I don't know why. It was just it looked too goofy.
What do you mean it looked too goofy? What do you mean it looked too goofy?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, explain your feelings here. Why the fuck does it look so goofy to you?
I don't know why. It's it just looked at it looked like a cartoon, the face itself looked like one of those really bad drawn cartoon pterodactyls. And I don't know, it looked wrong.
They literally just made a big CGI version of the original version, so
I know, everything else looked amazing, but it was just the actual face. I don't know. It just in my head it was like, oh.
You confuse me sometimes. So anyway, the group watching as Sam tells them the tropical storm just started heading towards them, but it isn't a storm. It's actually Ghidorah. He's causing a storm, which, as Mark says, it isn't a coincidence that they're about to collide. So they're either going to fight, or I'll finish off his sentence that he didn't get to finish off. So, fuck.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fuck.
But obviously, it cuts off before he says that. So the military then begin to send obviously jets after Rodan in an attempt to get his attention, which is, there's airplanes like get his attention, draw him to us. We'll fly at the tropical storm. We'll just let them fight, and obviously they get his attention. He starts flying after them, obviously destroying the town below, just wiping them all out. The soldiers obviously have to save a mother and son because he's obviously power of his wings just ushering like a massive sort of windy, flamey, whatever you want to call it, is at this town and just destroying it.
Because as well, like, it shows the consequences of like him just flying about.
It's destruction.
Yeah, it's so big that just flying can create chaos.
And then obviously he starts to chase the plane, and probably one of my favourite sequences is Rodan tactically takes out every single jet in the sky in some incredible fashion, including obviously spinning around scene. When he just looks at the planes, he's like, I got this. He has that little cheeky look in his eyes as well, and he pulls that sort of face. Like he knows what he's going to do. They gave this monster a bit more emotion than the others.
Yeah, he was very cocky.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it kind of, for me, it was even worse, made the face even worse. I don't know. It's just...
I liked it. It just like gave him a bit more than just I'm a giant monster. There you go. It gave him a bit more emotion, smart to him, as you say, cockiness, as he obviously spins around and just takes out all these fucking jets with his wings. And obviously, even though Ghidorah's the main fucking monster in this movie, Rodan is just badass. Even if you don't like his face. And obviously, the plane eventually makes it into the storm, and they move out the way just in time as the two flying titans obviously collide. But that scene where Ghidorah is revealed in the storm just looks incredible. We can't talk enough about the CGI and the sound in the background enough. It just looked gorgeous.
And I like how they did the visuals. Each monster's different visual, and they do it in ways that work so well. Like, obviously, with Ghidorah, they have the whole storm thing and the flashes of lightning. Obviously, with Godzilla, they've got the blue sort of glow, using the lights for that. And then, obviously, with Mothra as well.
Yeah, it's the lights from the sky.
Or divine, kind of, to her.
Yeah.
And with Rodan, it's more of that hellish, ugly face, cocky twat kind of look. I don't like Rodan. I like the look, just not the face, okay? I'm gonna keep saying it.
Anyway, so while these two are fighting, the plane escapes the storm, and there's a helo heading towards them with civilians on board, but the bay doors are jammed, so Mark and Sam have to unjam them. But on the bridge, Admiral William Stentz from the first movie tells them to get out of there as quick as they can because they're sending a new weapon called an oxygen destroyer, which is a weapon from the original Japanese movie.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously back with Mark, he eventually opens the bay doors, allowing the helo to crash land and almost kill Sam until Mark saves him. But with the doors open, they watch on as Ghidorah flies straight at them until Godzilla returns and drags him down into the water and begins another fight with him. So I love the chanting in the background during the fights.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. Especially during this, when he obviously... boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. When he's going to water as well, like, it's visually amazing. Also, it's a good story way, because obviously, the idea is, in the water, Ghidorah is, like...
weaker.
Yeah, he's...
compared to Godzilla.
Out of his element.
The water is basically Godzilla's apex.
Yeah.
Whereas the sky is Ghidorah's.
Yeah.
And obviously...
So there's the whole balance between them two. Like, he's more of the air, the Lord of Air, he's got the sort of thing.
And obviously, during this fight, Godzilla rips off Ghidorah's head with his mouth right before the oxygen bomb hits and takes him out. Well, it doesn't take Ghidorah out, who just straight up rises from the water.
Yeah.
Rick then checks, obviously, Godzilla's vitals, which are very weak and even flatlined, so the bomb killed the wrong Titan here, which angers Serizawa since Godzilla was like, well, he's like his baby, wasn't he?
Pretty much, like, his whole life was...
Godzilla. He's probably someone who goes home, he's got like the merchandise all on his wall. He's got like a Godzilla hat, a Godzilla flag, his bed sheets are Godzilla,
He's basically like you, but with Power Rangers.
I do not have that much stuff like that.
He's not fine.
Oh,
Fucking
it's
house.
Spider-Man. Calm down.
Okay, good point.
So anyway, back with Ghidorah, obviously head begins to grow back, which obviously looks really cool, and he's just like tearing off the sort of skin that was keeping it down, and obviously
Yeah,
it leads to the meme of the one head being really dumb, since that's a
yeah.
whole meme at one point. But
I
back to the movie, he stands tall on the volcano and opens his wings before roaring in another incredible looking shot. This franchise just knows how to make shots look astounding.
it does.
It's just when he's like, it's sort of like covered in the dust, and he just raises his wings and just roars. I was like,
Mm.
oh, I'm gonna wank good tonight.
What? Okay.
Back to the movie. So, following the roar, we get multiple Titans rising from different Monarch
Yeah.
outposts around the world. So,
Have you
one
heard
in
about?
Germany.
Have you heard that? There's like a book of comic about this film, and that they show that Kong heard it and was like, "Nah, fuck you," and carried on.
What?
He ignored it. That call. It apparently like because obviously he called all of the Titans. That call, Kong actually heard it,
I
but
said,
was like,
what book's
"Nah."
this?
I watched a video about it. I was watching like a video on Kong, and like it tells about like in that film, he actually did hear it, but the reason why he didn't respond to it was literally like he was like, "No, fuck you, I'm Kong."
I'll have to have a look for that. But yeah, so obviously this is a really cool like, chanting in the background as obviously all these monsters begin to rise before it cuts down to Alan and Emma, who are obviously watching this on the monitors, and Alan's like, "Long live the king," in response obviously to Ghidorah waking up these monsters,
Yeah,
and then obviously Madison calls him a monster before leaving. Cut back to the return of Dr. Brooks from Kong Skull Island, this time played by a different actor,
obviously because it's
older
been years,
version. Yeah, and I'm pretty certain at this point in the movie,
like 60 odd.
year wise, he was. Yeah, they could have done the makeup though for him, but I'm pretty certain he was either filming The Walking Dead or he was doing the very short-lived 24 series. He was doing one of those, so I'm pretty sure that's probably why. But yes, we get obviously a different actor. He's obviously watching the same footage before he obviously leaves to get Dr. Ling, who is the twin sister of Dr. Chen, whose
Yes,
actress also portrayed her, so that she plays the same too, which
yeah, she plays twins.
is essentially hinting at the Mothra worshippers, which is like a whole thing with the
Yeah,
Godzilla universe.
they show a whole connection to Mothra
Mothra,
too.
yeah, which obviously we'll get to anyway at some other point, probably never, but I'll try my best to sort of once the certain scenes over to explain something a bit more, but we'll see. So they watch obviously as Mothra awakens from her cocoon, which is currently in a waterfall where she obviously fled after the incident in China, and you obviously get the blue light shining from this waterfall, which makes her look so gorgeous. And when
It's
she
so
opens her wings, she's a beauty.
it's a fucking amazing scene, and like that, like, visually, that is my favorite scene throughout the entire film. It was that specific
Oh,
scene.
I don't know. As one, I do think that's a bit better than this later on.
There's that, and
Um,
there's the pretty much all of Mothra's scene I liked.
there's,
Like by far, in this film, she's my favorite
there's a
one.
choice of two. Sorry, there's a choice of three for me, which I'll say it when I come to it. I'll say this is one, this is two, this is three. But anyway, so I just love Mothra, and I want to see her come back in another movie, which
Definitely,
is something I'll have to explain later on as well.
we do. She she will, but yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, because big spoiler. So, back in Madison, she obviously argues with her mom before locking herself in a room.
Yeah,
Quickly cut back to Mark, who's listening to the frequencies while talking to Chen, who reveals that she's third generation monarch because he calls her second, and she's like, "No, third generation." And she's showing all the family, and she tells them the story of dragons in her culture and how they are magical beasts.
yeah, because
Before,
obviously,
yeah,
culture they're all friends, but in Eastern culture they are like wise leaders
yeah.
to worship.
Before obviously we cut to Rick and the soldiers talking about how Ghidorah survived the bomb.
Yeah,
Chen then tells them of a false king that fell from the sky above before she finally reveals the name Ghidorah.
i.e., basically saying Ghidorah is a fucking alien.
Yep, because Ghidorah is an alien. So the Admiral then arrives and tells them of all the carnage across the globe before Mark and Chen cut in and try to tell the Admiral that Titans are all obeying an Alpha, which is Ghidorah, and if they stop him, they stop all of them. But as points out, the only monster strong enough to beat him is dead, so they killed the only good fucking Titan. And then obviously we cut to Emma and Alan talking about. Well, Emma's trying to say about stopping Ghidorah, and Alan's like, "Oh no, fuck it. It's their world. Let them take it back." And obviously Madison listens to this, and she's like, "Okay, I got a plan there." And she obviously hurries off before we cut back to Mark as he goes to leave the oil rig. I'm just gonna say now because he's on the top, so it's on the oil rig side of it. So he wants to go find his family, and he's sort of waved off by Sam, and there's sort of becoming a little bond here between these two. They didn't like each other at first, but a bit of bromance going on here. So he gets in the helo, but a bright light and a strange sound gets his attention and everyone else's as Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, comes down from the heavens above in stunning fashion. And begins singing a little song, which reveals that Godzilla is still alive, but barely.
She's flying down singing, Shandy's like a melody.
No, come on, you know what she's singing. Somebody once told me that once.
Oh, but I did that.
What, Shrek just bursting through.
Yeah.
So Mark then comes with a plan to head down to Godzilla where he is and bring him back to life using a nuclear bomb. So they arm themselves up, and the army's like, okay, we've got our own plan. So while you're doing that, we're going to distract Ghidorah as much as we can by just full out assaulting him. So they head off to their plan. Two teams split up. Again, bromance comes up here. Oh, see you later, Mark. Good luck. Oh yeah, we'll need it. Thanks, Sam. Again, bromance going. So the sub head down with Sarah looking at his watch, which, as he explained in the first movie, stopped at the exact time as the Hiroshima bomb. He makes obviously a joke to Mark about getting a new watch when he asks him about the time. The two then have a heartfelt conversation about Mark's helping Godzilla here, and then nature in general. Before
he says that obviously the best way to heal wounds is to make peace with the demons that cause them.
i.e. saying help Godzilla for the fact that he killed his son, but at the end of the day there's a bigger wound happening there due to Ghidorah, so he needs to heal it.
Where'd you get that from? Fortune cookie?
A very long fortune cookie. And obviously they then impact something with the sub before we cut back to Madison as she steals some equipment including the Orca and flees the base, revealed the enemy base is actually in Boston the entire time. Obviously she walks off watching as all the helos and planes and jets just fly towards the city before we cut quickly back to the soldiers as they begin approaching Ghidorah before we return to the sub. Got a lot of cuts here. Where it turns out what they impacted was nothing. They were actually sucked into a wormhole, which confirms the Hollow Earth theory, before they launched their drones to scout the area ahead, where they find the entire ancient civilization, which Mark says, is this Egyptian? They're like, no, it's a lot older.
Totally not Atlantis.
And we see full paintings of Godzilla and other titans, or as Chen says, the first gods.
Yeah.
Another bit of basic music in the background here as well, but I dig the music. I really dig this music in this. A lot of the chanting, it just suits this film so well. And cut back to Madison, who eventually gets to her destination. I'm gonna be breathing like hell in a minute, and all these cuts coming up soon. She gets to destination, which is a baseball stadium, where she hooks up the Orc to the PA system before we go back to the sub again. Where they are forced to stop due to a massive radiation spike, and Rick's wanting to not have flipper kids when he has kids finally. So is he saying Jake's a flipper kid? The drones obviously begin to crash because the radiation wise and the heat, but one makes it above water where they see Godzilla collapsed, absorbing radiation.
Yeah,
where
he comes to heal, but it'll take years to do.
So we get a humorous line here from Mark when he says, my god. But this is followed by Rick White saying, Zilla.
I know, I love that bit. That bit fucking cracked me up.
I remember seeing that in the trailer. I was like, that's quite funny. And I saw it properly, and I was like, yeah, I still think that's funny. And the team find out the sub is fucked, so they can't actually launch any torpedoes, forcing Cerezo to volunteer himself to deliver the payload himself. So, back to the soldiers. In Boston, we see the team fighting Radan, like gunning him at him as he's flying at them before the Titans get distracted by an unknown source, which is revealed to be the Orca, which Madison has started up, obviously causing all the Titans to go harmless, or docile as they refer to it. But in the bad guys' base, Alan and Emma find Madison has taken the Orca after all this. They're like, oh shit, she's gone. I wonder who took it.
I wonder who. 11!
Once again, back to the sub. Dr. Cerezo gears up and says goodbye to everyone since this is a suicide mission. He hands Mark his notebook before telling him Godzilla, though, fought and died for us. So he's the key to all of it.
Yeah.
And he climbs into his sub and heads out to be the hero we all know he is.
Oh god, yeah.
He makes the Godzilla as the sub leaves, obviously, the area because, the explosion will happen. With some very somber music hinting that what's going to happen here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you when he pulls out his little watch? Like, that again is like a callback to him mentioning about your you gotta face the demon that caused the scars. Think about it, because that watch stopped like during Hiroshima, and the whole point of Godzilla was a response like of nuclear like weapons. Obviously, he's using a nuclear weapon to heal Godzilla, even though that weapon caused so much damage to his family and during the war. Nice little call back to that little reference.
It's a bit early in the afternoon for you to go and be philosophical, is it? What you been drinking?
A lot of bleach.
That kind of explains it. So we obviously cut to him as he's sort of raising the sub up and he climbs out, dragging the bomb up the stairs, and he lays it down, arms the bomb as it counts down from 20. Was it something like that?
Like 60, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And he takes his watch out, as you said. Yeah, he takes his watch out, as you say, and looks at Godzilla, who obviously breathes, and you see his eyes sort of appear and staring back at him. Sort of a bit of a sign of respect between them.
Yeah.
And he removes his mask to then, as you say, place his hand on Godzilla's face before it explodes, kills him, but obviously gives enough energy to Godzilla. So I'm getting a lot of original Godzilla vibes here, because the old Japanese film had him die the exact same sort of, not like touching Godzilla, but die trying to kill Godzilla.
Yeah.
This is like the opposite end of that. He's actually trying to save him. So I do like that. And on top of that, we get this heroic sacrifice to get his character out of this franchise. Though I would like to have seen him in the next movie. I do dig them sending him out this way. I'm happy to have this moment for this character.
Him going out saving Godzilla fits so
perfectly well for his character. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely worth it.
Unlike Vivian, who just gets eaten.
Oh yeah, she's gone. Like no respect for like.
No, just
dead. Call back is that picture.
So yeah, the explosion shakes the sub as it re-enters the surface, and the characters climb out and look around for Godzilla when suddenly the music begins. Ha, ha, do 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 do, ha, ha, and he rises from he rises from the ocean, all lit up, and emits a mighty roar into the sky as he blasts up his atomic breath as well, which I'm gonna say is out of sadness for what Cerezo did, as well as anger for Ghidorah being the king at the moment. I want to say it's both those two things.
But also box art.
Yeah.
It's the box art.
Yeah. Even though I'm pretty certain my 4K cover isn't that. No, my 4K cover is him fighting Ghidorah.
The poster usually.
Yeah, the poster they used for the cinemas was that, but the box art I have in my hand at the moment is half like blue smoke, half like yellowish smoke, with obviously Ghidorah being lit up all yellow and Godzilla all blue. And, like halos in the background flying around on. So that's really nice actual box art. But yeah, for the box art. So
Money.
yeah. So where am I?
He just throws up doing a roar.
Yeah, blah blah.
Theme.
And Godzilla obviously submerges then towards the final fight. But I want to want to point out another great looking scene. That's the bit I was on about earlier when he looks angry. It zooms in on his face. It's that scene, and this is one of the scenes I was saying to play one of my favorite. This is one of the three. So when we continue, the team get back and to the above water team, and it's like, okay, Sarajevo's dead.
That scene though, like you can see, like, this is the idea of Godzilla's like he respects them for healing and doesn't attack them, and that's like the click in what's his face's head, Mark's head, when he goes like, he's not an animal like I thought he was. There's humanity behind him, and obviously this helps him to realize what's missing.
Yeah.
How to attack him.
Yeah, they obviously begin to trap the orca, and it then referenced the later fight quote from the first movie when obviously Chen says Godzilla will bring back balance.
Yeah.
Where I forgot his name. It's not in his part of my notes, so I didn't write that bit down. But the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine's like, oh, a bit of Sarajevo let him fight action. I dig that. And then Mark's like, no, it's not that. This time we join the fight. Which is basically humanity and Godzilla joining forces to fight Ghidorah. So I like this idea. It's a lot better than them just going, oh fuck, this guy's trying to save us, but shit the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah.
So I do like that. And obviously back to Emma as she tries to leave the bad guy facility to save Madison, but she's stopped by Alan and all the soldiers. Before he's like, oh no, let her go. Let her do what she wants. But it's too late for Madison, who looks on from the rooftop as a large cloud engulfs the city and forces it inside to hide. And inside, Ghidorah finally fucking lands. Sorry, King Ghidorah. He's king now.
He's like, oh, you bitches.
Yeah, he starts looking around. He smashes the speaker system first. Then starts looking around for the source. And he's like, spies on there. He's like, hello. Before he blasts the lightning bolt out, forcing him to run outside with the bolts just chasing her the entire way. And outside, he attempts to kill her one more time as she screams at him. He's going to roar, and then he's just hit with an atomic blast by Godzilla as he arrives with a lot of backup. This was just a badass scene. Actually, I changed my mind now. I've got 4 scenes I like. This was just a badass scene with obviously him roaring before being seen, and on top of that, it's just his eyes just lit up blue, and he's just walking towards them all with like his posse behind him with all the jets flying around him.
He's now fucking buffed.
Yeah, that was just
big boy.
That was just an incredible looking scene, and as you said, then Chen then says for Sarajevo, and with obviously that badass music again in the background. They all launch the missiles, bang, 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 attacking Ghidorah. Godzilla just charges and tackles him as the two begin brawling, and it's pointed out that Godzilla's 12 minutes away from going thermonuclear due to the nuclear regeneration he was given. So to sum it up for people who don't know what that means, atomic bomb. He's a walking bomb.
Basically, he's about to explode.
The helo in marking lands, and the soldiers all charge out with some of them obviously instantly just bang straight out. Lightning bolts vaporize. Mark then climbs up and like, okay, we need to try and find her. They find the orca. He starts screaming for Madison.
Ow! 11!
The fight rages on above. Obviously, Ghidorah getting the advantage here with his 3 heads. But you don't get Godzilla out just yet, as he lands like one big atomic breath before the queen herself, Mothra, descends from above and sticks Ghidorah Spider-Man style to a building.
Oh, but then obviously you see the reflection in the building of fucking Godzilla.
He just tackles Ghidorah for this building.
Oh my god, just the bit where he's walking, you see the blue coming from his eye. It's all glowy. Oh, it's so good.
But obviously, before Mothra can get the final kill shot, she's attacked by Rodan, because this isn't a 3-on-2 fight.
No. It's 2 on
It's
2.
it's no, sorry, this is a 3-on-2 fight, not a 3-on-1 fight. Because it was 3-on-1 at first. Humans, Mothra, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, but now it's 3v2, which still isn't the best odds, but let's do this. So while these 4 fight, Emma arrives and saves Mark and the soldiers, and they flee due to one of their injuries. While they're driving, the two argue, with Barnes stating that he'd run away from home too if he had parents like them, which makes them think she's gone home. So it cuts to her running as Mothra and Rodan are just crashing down around her until she makes it home and hides inside, screaming. And we'll cut away from her. She's gone for a bit now.
Fuck God.
And Godzilla continues to kick the shit out of Ghidorah. Kick his ass, Godzilla. Just get it over with. But thanks to him landing by a power station, Ghidorah just gets all juiced up and takes Godzilla down.
And this moment is the moment I realised, like, they've improved Godzilla, because you can see even more emotion.
He's got a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this movie from Godzilla. He's not a mindless beast.
You know, the bit where he goes, "The fuck?" when he realizes that he's absorbing all
Yeah.
the power. He's like, "The fuck?"
And obviously, when he gets hit, they give a 6-minute window for the nuclear explosion.
Yep.
Which forces all the jets and that to flee the fuck out of there. It's now, 2v2.
They needed a reason for the humans not be able to.
Yeah. So the fight continues between them two. So we'll cut away from there. So Mothra and Rodan start fighting more and more, with Mothra actually beating Rodan by stabbing him in the shoulder and dropping him to the floor below. But due to damage, it's already too late for Mothra.
But he's
we'll get to it shortly. So Mark and Emma finally arrive at home, and with the help of soldiers, they find Madison and pull her out from the rubble, since she was hiding inside a bathtub when it went down. It's not. It's kind of like the but less stupid to the Harrison Ford hiding in the freezer.
And straight away, James Fridge.
Oh, fuck me! That film was a waste of potential. So I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, hiding in the bathtub. She wakes up. Family reunited. Yada yada yada. Ghidorah takes flight, grabs Godzilla, takes him up into the atmosphere, and when he's high enough, he just drops him to the ground below, engulfing him in flames. Before he hits the ground and like slightly explodes blue, which looked beautiful when he's falling. It's like, oh shit, is Godzilla gonna die? And then,
like, he's gonna die, but it's beautiful thing.
Yeah, and then Ghidorah lands, but as Godzilla tries to move, a weakened Mothra just clambers up his back and takes flight.
This was so sad.
Because as he takes flight, she gets blasted from the sky and vaporized by Ghidorah, with her essence raining down on Godzilla.
I tell you, I was in tears. God. So
but do you know the amount of tears I was when playing Ghost of Tsushima when my horse died? I was holding back tears in that game, man.
About the same as we watched Endgame and we saw Widow die. About the same.
To be fair, I didn't cry in that film. I cried at the end of Infinity War. I'll admit that. I cried when Spider-Man died. I'm crying now thinking about it. But I mean, I'm sad that I didn't cry at either one of those deaths. I was upset about them, but I just held my emotion back. I was like, no, I'm holding my emotion back. Unlike you, during every fight scene. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I was just dying just to go, I'm going to knock you. I just want to knock you out.
It's fucking amazing.
I'm just there sitting there watching this film, and I can hear next to me is constant clapping. I'm just like, you shut the fuck up.
You lost your shit when the cat got the hammer with Mjolnir. Okay.
I did put a face like, oh, but I didn't lose my shit as constantly as you did.
Fuck off.
You lost your shit a lot in that film. I thought you were just gonna jump up and start screaming and start starting a high five chain down the side of the chairs.
Hey guys.
But not even high five in the hands, just slapping on the back of the head as you get there.
And they were like, what the fuck are you doing? She's just died.
Anyway, so back to this movie.
What? We're high-fiving everyone.
Emma and Mark fix the orca because they know this is the only way to help Godzilla. Because he's now getting wrapped up by Ghidorah's heads. who begin to
And
bite him.
like basically like vampire style
Yeah, it causes
thing.
like a really lovely red light that flashes up and down his neck, which is really nice. And then with the Orca fix, the helo rise, but Emma activates it during Ghidorah to them. And realizing Madison isn't safe with the Orca near, Emma chooses to get into a jeep and just drive away in a very sad moment for Mark and Madison as they're screaming at her to get on board. Even though obviously Madison's treated her mum like an enemy the last few scenes she's been in with that, and Mark's treated like an enemy the entire film. They're
Yeah.
both have straight up destroyed that she's about to die because of this, which
Obviously, she's still the mother of his child.
yeah.
He's going to be upset.
And obviously with Ghidorah now locked onto her, he begins destroying buildings to get to her before he lands a lightning bolt which sends a jeep flying. And as Emma looks up from the ground, she says that her final words of "Long live the king." Before
A good reference to
yeah,
Tywin.
before Ghidorah looks up to everything melting around him. This is the other scene I was talking about that I like.
That was a good scene.
As Godzilla has gone nuclear,
Fire
he
boy.
roars and slowly approaches, emitting large radiation blasts that begin to burn Ghidorah, killing Emma in the process.
Yeah.
And with Ghidorah's attacks not even affecting Godzilla, blasting off and like, fuck this shit, two of his heads just get vaporized before Godzilla just explodes.
Do you know that scene though? Like when he uses the power, you can hear Mothra's like voice.
And yeah. And as the darkness fades, Ghidorah's head just rises back from the roof. You're thinking, oh shit, he's survived, but his head's actually inside Godzilla's mouth. He begins to bite down before vaporizing it with an atomic breath. And he stands tall and destroys the city as the other monsters that awoke thanks to Ghidorah arrive and begin to bow before him, including the Muto from the last film, and Radan, which angers Godzilla at first until he's like, okay, I'll bow. And he does that little bow. And Godzilla's like, damn right, bitch.
Damn right, you ugly twat.
And he just emits like one final roar as the true king of monsters is back. Long live the king, I say. So I that's the other scene that I really liked to this. Is just that when all the monsters surrounded him and he's just standing tall. Fuck me! That gets me so pumped for the next movie. So yeah, let's talk about his battle first before we go into the actual credit bits that come up. So
yeah,
I fucking love this battle.
yeah.
It just had everything you'd want to make an incredible watch, and the fighting was brilliant. The score accompanying this fight was amazing. Mothra's sacrifice so fucking sad and beautiful. Godzilla going nuclear. It's just it's the biggest fight this universe has seen until he fights Kong, of course. But look past that. This is just why they knew after the first movie. Okay, we've got to up the ante with these fights, especially the big end fight. Because I gotta be honest, I was not disappointed with this fight at all. Even the human side of the fight drew me in because I'm like, are these actually going to get Madison out or not? Is she going to die? Are they all going to die? It's a bit more intense and interesting than the first human side of it. Even though that had a bigger end game of, oh, there's a nuclear bomb. I got to get this out of the city as quick as I can.
Yeah.
And if I don't, everything's destroyed. There's a bigger nuclear bomb than that. Fucking Godzilla's nuking this, so fuck that nuclear bomb. This is probably the better human end side of it than that.
Yeah.
And this is just another reason I love this movie. And as I say, him roaring at the end, surrounded by the monsters, is just a great way to actually end.
Definitely. But it's not over.
Well, give me your thoughts first.
Thought-wise, I agree. Like the fights were great. There was definitely a massive impact on the first film because the best part of like you said the film, the fights were good in the first film, but they weren't as great.
It was more build up than anything.
Yeah, it wasn't more like massive action visual. Whereas in this film,
You think
the whole film was pretty much action mixed with a bit of humans.
if you think of it as a sandwich, the first film just gave us the bread. Whereas it's like, no, we'll give you the bread, but we'll also give you the stuff in the middle, the toppings and whatnot. Like, we'll give you the inside.
The first one was like a simple like hamburger from McDonald's. This one is like a Big Mac mixed with a quarter pounder added on some chicken nugget. I'm one of Mac's, can you tell?
How you doing?
Yeah, it was a great film. Great fight scene. Definitely the end one. And I like that the end fight scene was like it overpowered previous fight scene
Yeah.
like by a massive margin. Having Mothra and Godzilla fight with each other like against the big three-headed dragon that I can't remember the name of.
Ghidorah.
That's the one. I knew it, but I didn't remember it. Rodan, that ugly fucker. That was a good. And after that, you said the whole end scene where all of them are bowing to him. That was great. And although I do feel sorry for whoever has to have that giant spider, like be their protector.
Oh god, I shit my pants to say fuck this. Bang,
Yeah, man.
mate.
Honestly, they should send that spider should be sent to Australia. He would just
He probably is Australia's guardian. You never fucking know.
like, where do we send the giant spider? How about the place where it like every single spider that exists will kill you there? Let's send them there. The land of spiders, aka Australia.
See, I've got the art book for this film, and it has the end sort of seen as like a artwork image, and there's actually a monster which they didn't use in the film, which you can see in the artwork that was bowing to Godzilla. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head which one it was. If people know Godzilla much, they'll know who I'm talking about. He's got like a blades for hands. He's like a really popular sort of Godzilla monster, and they didn't bother using him in the end scene, but in the artwork, it obviously showcases the fact that he was still present. I just can't remember his fucking name off the top of my head. He's literally, his hands are just giant blades, and at one point, I'm pretty certain they turned him like mecha and made him like a robot, which is, you know, all they ever do in this universe.
Reference to like another like Ghidorah type dragon with like but with more and more heads in the the pop up with the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
And there's also a mentioning of that character in Japan, where it's like the same goes Ghidorah, like it has so much more heads. I think it's like 9 or 10. It's got a lot, basically. That's a nice little reference that they did. They did quite good references for it.
He's a lot. I feel they do a lot of references.
Mostly, most of them are Kong references because they've got to set up the next film, which they do as well.
I think I just found his name when you was talking. I managed to get his name up. Gigan. I'll send you the image later, but that's the one. But yeah, as you say, we are not over yet at all. We've still got a bit to go. So we have an end credits roll at first, which I'll do this before we get the end credits scene. We have the credits rolling, and obviously showing a lot of news articles of different monsters, basically explaining everything as well as making nods to Kong, and just having an excuse to show off some footage from the last movie.
Yeah, saying like all these like where they're all where each like Titan's doing little show up of Godzilla. Oh, these crew people, they found like a Godzilla kind of sighting, like a whale sighting when you go on like cruises and look over there, the blue whale.
And that's all cool and all, but
then,
come on, no, come on. The fucking song in the background, the cover of Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, the song's great.
The Godzilla song,
A little thing we find out as well.
Bear McCreary did the song for it as well.
Song's great, but Mothra's not dead, mate. Come on, you've got to focus on that bit. She's not dead. The little egg.
Yeah, there's obviously another egg, which is obviously still kind of hinting that especially the two twins are going to hint at something to them later on. And the fact, as you say, there's like guardians in the old ones, two like identical twins, so it's clearly hints at it's going to be them.
Yeah, but also there's a little.
This is not to Kong as well with the Skull Island, saying there's more monsters drawn to the island, and it ends on obviously the footage of the camera panning around Skull Island.
Yeah.
Before you get the image of Kong just jumping at Godzilla. Can't wait for that film. I'm looking forward to it.
That's a good one.
As you say, there is an after credit scene which you've been trying to get off your head the entire talk just. So Jonah arrives at an location in Isla de Mora to see what the fishermen have dragged out of the ocean, which is revealed to be Ghidorah's head that Godzilla ripped off before the oxygen destroyer hit. And Jonah obviously agrees to take it before it ends, hinting at Ghidorah's return, which will hopefully be in the form of Mecha Ghidorah, since that's something directly from the second appearance of Ghidorah in the Japanese movies. They resurrect him using his obviously old body
Yeah.
parts to bring back Mecha Ghidorah, which it looks really cool. So hopefully they'll do that. As you say, they always go Mecha at some point. Mecha
I mean,
Kong, Mecha Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla.
that'd be good to see, like the whole they're using Ghidorah again.
That
It's like,
I was reading like a thing that was saying about it could be in the third Godzilla film if they do one. It depends on obviously the success of this one. They don't reckon he'll be in that. They reckon Mecha Godzilla would be part of that film. That's why they'll help each other.
mm,
That's like the whole theory at the moment. Plus
yeah.
the toys keep hinting at stuff. Goddamn toys spoiling stuff. So yeah, you ready for the overall?
Yes, I am.
So overall for me, this movie is just incredible from start to finish.
Definitely.
I loved it, and it's easily my favourite entry in this little trilogy they got going. From
Yeah.
its score, similar to obviously the other two movies, just having an incredible soundtrack, especially the remake of the original Godzilla theme being used a lot. And as I said, the cover of Blue Oyster Godzilla song at the end is just amazing to listen to.
Yeah.
The CGI is incredible once again, and like the first Godzilla entry in this universe, you get to actually see Godzilla, which is just utterly amazing, and I love it. And I just can't complain about this at all. I also can't complain about the characters in this because I know a lot of people complain when they watched it about the characters, but I didn't mind them. I thought they're actually alright. To be fair, the characters in the first film weren't the greatest. The only good one was Bryan Cranston, and he died straight away. So
And it was also funny seeing twins fuck each other.
yeah, but I can't really complain about them at all. And they kept the story going, which is obviously what they're there for. Which they did their job. So and it kind of helped that they're played by some good actors as well. So great. I love the fight scenes, though not as intense as the Kong fight scenes when he's obviously using a lot of weapons to fight, but they're a lot better than the 2014 entry. Because, as you say, Godzilla uses a lot more emotion in these fights now. It's just great to watch. And especially the fight between him and King Ghidorah at the end, it's just amazing. He's obviously his second most famous enemy behind Mecha Godzilla, I'd say. But obviously ahead of Kong. Cause I'd say it's probably Mecha Godzilla, Ghidorah, and then Kong. Because obviously he's fought Ghidorah multiple times, only fought Kong once, twice being this next one. So I'd probably say Mecha Godzilla is his most known. But having Ghidorah in this film is a great way of ushering us into this age of actually using famous Godzilla baddies. Let's just not use that plant one.
And
um,
also, like it was a good way of showing like how strong Godzilla is
yeah,
by having his like next villain be almost powerful that Godzilla almost dies until you get this whole power ups like moment and it shows Godzilla is the king of monsters.
basically, yeah.
Well,
And as I said already, just the ending, how it ended, it's just great. And it's going to take a lot to knock him off his throne. Kong's got a lot of work to do. I just personally don't think he's going to do it. I see them having apparently, because I have read they said they're going to have a clear winner this time. So I see it being Godzilla, not Kong, personally. But as I said, anyway,
of Kong. So
what?
I'm on the side of Kong, just saying.
Nah.
I like
He's smart, he's agile, but Godzilla's got the beefiness. I'll take him down. Plus, Godzilla's roamed this earth, where Kong's only roamed an island. Yeah, he's fought monsters on the island, but Godzilla's fought bigger monsters elsewhere. So, anyway, I'll push out of that. So, my rating for this is again a 9 out of 10, but this time it's a higher 9 than obviously what I did for Kong. So, yeah, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. My overall, like as you said, it's definitely a massive improvement from the first one. I still prefer Kong, I will admit. As I keep saying, I liked how they did Kong, and Kong was extremely human, whereas Godzilla, like the first film, was a bit robotic. Whereas in this one, they do give Godzilla some humanity, and there's a lot more emotion, humanity in this version. But there's the aspect of Kong I preferred, but he's definitely a massive improvement. The action's better, a lot better. The human side becomes more of a back burner, which worked for a Godzilla film. for like any other type of film, that'd be boring. But in a Godzilla film, so very good. And so I'd give it a 9 out of 10 as well. Because for me, it's on par with the previous films. There's improvements, but because I preferred Kong, it's sort of like Kong to me is a high 9, whereas this one's middle 9.
Okay. So that gives it Chat Cave overall rating of 9 out of 10 again. Anyway, my question of the day is actually two very basic questions.
Yeah.
And that is, how much are you looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong next year? And what do you want to see from it to give you an enjoyable movie experience?
Right. I am like originally when before I even watched these films, like I just was in the trailer and I was like, I'm not really that involved. I don't really care about them. But after what B forced me to watch them by gunpoint, I will admit I am excited to watch it. Actually, good. And yes, I'm excited for it, and it's gonna be a great film to watch. What I would like to see, obviously, is them fighting, them teaming up. But I personally, I don't really want to like have a clear winner.
There's going to be a clear winner.
I know there is, but I don't want it. But if there is a clear winner, I want.
No Kong. Fuck Kong. Godzilla, my man. He's got a bigger history than Kong. He's got a lot more movies than Kong.
If you love Godzilla, why don't you marry him?
I tried. They wouldn't let me. Now I just want to go to that Japanese theme park that's going to be made. Have you seen it? It's a Japanese
Yeah.
theme park. You can like zip line into Godzilla's mouth. Oh, it looks amazing.
What are you going to be doing in there?
Anyway, that's it from Chat Cave today, and that's the Monsterverse gone completely now until next year. So join us next week as we take a look at the first of the two Kingsman movies, which you hinted at earlier, in the form of Kingsman: The Secret Service. But until then, I've been your host, Ranking Thomas Hughes.
Kong's going to win.
And this has been Chat Cave Podcast. Owen Hayden.
Yeah.
Long live the King.
Yeah, King Kong.
King Godzilla. The true King of
Kong.
Monsters.